Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Welcome to our show.
Yeah.
And here we are, probably at what you would call a crossroads of the season. 4, 5, and 1. I think we keep saying that every week.
I know,
it's
right?
Kind of
like
a crossroads. You know, the division is still up in the air, although you got to give Chicago a lot of credit. They're probably going to take this thing. Well, we'll see what happens.
You never know. I mean, before we get started, though, we got some breaking news. Because actually, I'm taking you on the road to let people see what you look like.
Oh, really?
Because a lot of people may not know. You know, because I think people they mess up your last name all the time. They really think you're Bob McGinn, but you're not. So,
all right,
people get a chance to see what you look like. We're going to take it on the road.
This is your chance to make fun of us on the road.
That's true.
We are going to be appearing live for, I believe it's the next 4 Mondays. Sorry about that. Monday night, starting with this Monday at the Potawatomi Casino Fire Pit Sports Bar and Grill. We're going to be filming this show live.
Yeah, so you'll get a chance to come down, interact, get a few autographs, ask questions.
Are you going to sign autographs?
No, you are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Because I read some of our mentions, and people...
I heard you charge a ton.
I give people a discount. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
I don't charge, by the way.
I'm thankful for the fans. And this is our chance to give back to the fans.
Yeah, it'll be fun,
people like the show, so come down and check us out.
Absolutely. Be sure you do that. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, yeah. But back to the division. If you understand what Chicago is all about, you have to say in the back of your mind, although they're playing good defensively, they're going to find a way to mess it up. You want to be there to pick it up. But if you're also Minnesota, you have to say the same thing. And you can go all the way back to Detroit, who just got to 4-6. Everybody in this division feels like they have to win out, but they all play each other. So if you're the Green Bay Packers, there's no alarm, but this is a game you must win. If you don't win this game,
you can't.
I think you can get the tape and the boxes and start telling your wife to pack up the kids' clothes.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come down to the first team to 9 or 10 wins. So this is one you need. Yeah,
and I'm not sure that the division is in the reach of either Minnesota or Green Bay. I think they're looking at wild cards. And it's really incredible to look at Minnesota and Green Bay, and they are really similar teams. So Minnesota is underachieving. Packers are underachieving. Minnesota has a highly paid quarterback, and he's not performing up to snuff, and that's true with Green Bay as well. Both teams can't block Khalil Mack, and Akeem Hicks. And essentially they're in situations where they're pretty close to needing this win to continue their season. Minnesota still has to play at New England and at Seattle.
Right.
And, so they really can't afford to lose this game to Green Bay.
Yeah.
The Packers, I think, have to win out.
And here's where you got to rely on history. History has shown you that if you make it to the 6th seed, you can go to the Super Bowl. Once you get in, anything can happen. Although people saw the Rams win 54-51 or whatever, their defense is bad. Okay, so if you look at the stats, if you're an eye test guy, it's different. But if you look at the stats, the Green Bay's defense is a lot better than some of these teams in the NFC. So if the offense can score in the 30s, then you got a chance. If you can't score 30, it's hard.
Green Bay held the Rams to 27 points. The defense did.
Right, and they're averaging like 33 points or something like that, 30-something points. So that's all you need. You have to find some way, if you're McCarthy, which I have a lot of confidence that he will, you have to find a way to get your team to understand, no matter how much injuries, if you're out there, you must step your game up. And if you're going to do that, I think, personally, it starts with number 12.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's go right to the elephant in the room, and that is
he's not an elephant,
the play of Aaron Rodgers.
He's a lot better shape than the elephant. But he knows this, though, right? He knows that looking at his numbers, fantasy-wise, yes. But the critical throws, you must have that. And I don't know if it's the proper coaching. I mean, quarterbacks coach, coordinators, or people, so many guys talking to him or what. But I say this to say that. it's only one guy in that helmet. And they've shown history that they can make a run. And they've also shown that if they get in, they can go deep in the playoffs. But they also have shown in history that they're one and dones. And I think fans are getting tired of seeing that.
And I think we'll show some of this in X's and O's. Fans are very down on Mike McCarthy's offense, but from what I saw in the Seattle game, on the third downs there were guys open.
Yeah.
And he is scheming to get guys open. Now, they might not be wide open like the Rams guys were or the Chiefs guys are, but they don't have a Tyreek Hill, you know. They don't have a Robert Woods, and they don't have a Todd Gurley. You know, they have some solid players, but they really only have two playmakers, and that's Adams and Jones.
Yeah, I would think that Devontae Adams at this point is platinum. And if you're going to get it to him, get it to him. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes the 50-50 ball, that's where you separate if a guy's elite or is he just a good receiver. If it's a 50-50 ball to 17, throw it out there, let him run under it. He's going to out-jump most DBs, and he has better feet than most DBs. If you're going to go to him, don't be scared that he's doubled, or if for some reason he may be covered, throw him open.
Yeah.
The old Aaron Rodgers did that. Well, and it just seems like he's not taking chances on these 50-50 balls.
He doesn't want to throw an interception, it looks
like.
And
I'm okay with that, but you got to be a little bit more aggressive.
3rd and 10 at the Seattle 48-yard line. Throw it deep. You got Adams. We'll show that play.
Yes, yes.
Who cares if it gets intercepted?
Well, Aaron does.
Right.
That's the issue.
But that's not the best for the team. You got to give your guy a chance to.
Yes.
I can't imagine Favre ever saying,
no.
I'm not going to throw this because it might be an interception.
Well, he's also leading the world in interceptions.
He did, but you know,
I like the way he played because he played one way, and I admired that. You play one way as a defensive player, I'll go get the ball back.
Yeah.
Never be scared to play. Just play.
Yeah.
And don't be conservative. And I think Tramon Williams has been saying this.
Yeah.
They want to play to win.
Yeah, yeah. And McCarthy has to do that too.
Yeah.
This game was on him as well, not going for it on 4th and 2.
I don't know if I would have either, though, at that time.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying, though. But I know everybody wants to blame McCarthy. I get that. But I just don't want people to understand that this offense is the same offense that got Aaron Rodgers 2 huge contracts, got Greg Jennings a huge contract, although with another team, got Devontae Adams a big contract, and Randall Cobb. Everybody has prospered in this. To say it's just one guy's fault, to me, it's a little misguided. I think it's a group effort. If it's the reason why, it could be on McCarthy, and it could be on Rodgers, and the other coaches. They have more coaches than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay? They got to figure out a way to simplify it and still be innovative enough to move the ball and stop being first quarter or second quarter teams. You got to be a 4-quarter type team.
Yeah. Well, look, you have a guy who you may not have the offensive talent that Kansas City has.
I understand.
You might not have the offensive talent that the Rams have. But you have a quarterback
or the Saints
who can rate or the Saints,
but
who can make plays that can overcome the little bit of talent deficiency you might have at those positions. And right now he's not doing that. Right. And that's what they're paying him to do. And I think the Seattle game was startling from that aspect, the 3rd downs. I don't know. Did you think that he was that he's playing with a hurt mindset, like still playing as an injured player, protecting himself, and that sometimes he's looking at the rush more than he's looking at his receivers?
That's a good question, because on certain plays it does look like that. Because that's not the swagger that I've seen the Aaron Rodgers to do, you know, the belt or to do the undercover uppercut. It's always looking up. You know, like, woe's me. He got to get away from that. I'm not so stuck on body language, but you know, people look at body language. And that was a great picture that Bill just showed, that Aaron looking up. The young guys feed off of that kind of stuff. Because I know it's a built-in excuse that you have 2 young guys out there, but nobody cares. Chicago don't care, Minnesota don't care, they don't care. these guys are young enough to, if you get them the ball, they're going to make plays. And a lot of people think, oh, why did Aaron Jones only get 11 carries? But at the same time, Gurley only had at halftime, he had 6 carries. But they put up 54 points.
Right.
In Aaron's mindset, because he's a very cerebral guy, okay, he has to think in his head, I got to score 30 points every week for us to have a chance. 30 points every week. Because I think the defense can play good enough for you to keep teams to 27 and 28. And that's the issue. And all the injuries they've had, Mike Daniels is hurt. He's going to be out a few weeks. You know, 29 is hurt. I mean, you name it. You know, they put Green out there, he get hurt. Nick Perry, all these guys are hurt and banged up, but so is everybody around the league. And teams are starting to just separate themselves. You see a team like the Dallas Cowboys go on the road and beat Atlanta. That's a team you meant to compete for a wild card spot. But by you not playing up to their standards, Tom, you've welcomed all these teams now who are 5-5 or 4-6 instead of separating yourself. The good news is you can make a difference this week by putting a doubt in Minnesota's mindset that they can get beat. Now, if Minnesota loses, they still got hope. They'll be 6-5-1 or something like that. You have to win to be 5-5-1.
Right. Right, and the other thing is, if Rodgers were to play lights out in this game, it would send a message to the rest of their opponents that this is what you're going to face. You better be ready for it. And then that opens up a lot of things for Aaron Jones and things like that. But right now, I wouldn't be that afraid of Rodgers. You know, you might get that one across the body throw to Robert Tonyan per game, but you're not getting consistent touchdowns and throw guys open and things like that. So I don't know that I'd be that afraid of him.
Well, Jimmy Graham's going to try to play, hopefully, with the thumb.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Either. I don't think that's going to happen.
I've been wanting to see 85 for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
Put him in there. You want to run a you still got 3 other tight ends. Rotate those guys in and just see what happens. Because I would hate to see Jimmy Graham drop a ball because of his thumb. Or can't block properly because of his thumb. But I admire him wanting to play for his team, though.
I believe they're throwing that out there to make Minnesota think that he might play and prepare for it.
Do you actually think they're preparing for Jimmy Graham?
Well, you have to prepare a little bit.
Why? He doesn't get enough targets.
No, but teams do.
He should.
They still respect him. I'm not sure I would respect them as much as they do, but they do. They do. They still double them. And
Minnesota's defense is not playing that great, but as of late, they're playing out of their mind. Because they played a good, tough game against Chicago, and they lost that. They got a couple of turnovers. They're getting after the quarterback. If the offensive line can protect, they got injuries as well. That's the key. Everson, Griffin, and these guys, the rotating safeties, you know Minnesota. You play them all the time. And they're hoping, hey, listen, if we can win this game and get pressure on Chicago, that we can still win the division. Because ultimately, each week, whoever's the best quarterback in the North tends to be the trending team. Last week it was Trubisky. You know, he put up 35 points fantasy-wise. And now he goes back to the bottom. Aaron Rodgers is your #1 quarterback going into this week. That needs to be Aaron Rodgers every week if you want to try to get into the playoffs.
The shame for the Packers this week is that with Daniels out, Kyler Fackrell might get some attention. And he's been kind of just sneaking through. Nobody's been double teaming him. And you can't do that when you got Clark and Daniels in the middle. And now without Daniels, it's possible he'll get more attention. But I'm also interested to see if Pettin takes advantage of him, of his skills. You know, I mean, he's had some. I went back and looked at a game, I can't remember, I think it was San Francisco, where they used Gilbert and Fackrell inside and Matthews and Perry outside on a third down kind of thing. You know, maybe they need to scheme to get Fackrell.
Well, it's Gilbert's turn. It's Gilbert's turn to get 3 sacks. You need people to rotate in and get 3 sacks. Matthews, if he can play, he can at any time do that. But you're right about that. people see the same film that we watch. You know, Minnesota sometimes has protection problems, but at the same time, if you can just keep them anything in the 20s, you should have a chance to win this game.
Yeah.
But I will say this, though. The thing about playing on the road when you're 0-5, it's not a confidence booster going into a hostile environment, a place where Aaron Rodgers once has gotten hurt. You're 0-5 on the road. That is shocking to me in a Mike McCarthy era. So when we talk about predictions and stuff like that, in my prediction, I had to factor that in. You know, whether the Packers are going to, I'm assuming they're going to beat somebody on the road, right? I mean.
Jets, maybe.
I'm assuming, I'm going to ask you that again. I'm assuming they're going to beat somebody on the road.
Yeah,
you would hope it'd be this week.
Since the merger in 1970, no team has gone winless on the road.
Right.
The Packers.
Well,
Bart Starr's teams went 1-7.
Right.
Or 1-6 in 75, 76, and 79.
Yeah.
So, McCarthy, they're headed towards.
So odds are they should win this week, but I'm going to pick the Packers to lose in Minnesota because, again, when you're a young team and you haven't won on the road, doubt sets in. Yeah. And, again, it doesn't matter what I say. It's a matter of how well you play. So
that's a logical choice.
It is. I mean.
So what's your score?
So I think it'll be around, 28-21. The Vikings, again, if the Packers can score 30, then they'll win the game. If they can't, they're not going to win the game.
Yeah.
And, again, based on what we say is how you play. That's why I tell people never take stuff personal. Hey, go out and change it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, and don't forget to
next week
at Potawatomi.
You get a chance to see my boy
at the Fight.
Look at that handsome picture.
Bar and Grill. I will be better dressed than that.
What's wrong with that? I like that.
That was my summer outfit.
It's all right.
We
we did take that in the summer.
We did.
I got my Packers golf hat, and I have my friend's autism shirt.
Yeah. So we'll be a little bit. I'll be a little bit. And dressed up, and you better dress up too. So.
Thank you for Bill every week making us look good. Well, at least he helps me.
Yeah.
Nothing he can do for you.
Thanks.
But this is a must-win.
All right.
This week.
And a must show up at Potawatomi.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
I mean, it's free.
Be sure you join us for X's and O's because we're going to break down 2 of Aaron Rodgers' fails in the Seattle game, and it's a little startling. So, thanks again. See you next time.